everyone. Today at Routes Europe, I'm joined by Miss Belina Neumann, the Vice President for Aviation Development for Vienna Airport. Thank you so much, Belina, for joining me today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome. So could you just introduce yourself to the audience and give a sense of your background?
So, my name is Belina. I'm with Vienna Airport since 22 years, and I'm in charge of aviation development, which means our daily business is dealing with airlines, trying to get new routes, focusing on route development, and of course take care of our airlines.
Fantastic. So what numbers has the airport closed on, and how does this reflect on previous years? What is your strategy to increase passenger volume?
So last year we already had a very successful year where we had passenger number of 29.5 million passengers. That's the second best year in the history of Vienna Airport.
Wow.
Because we had 2019, we had a record year with 31.7 million passengers. So we ended up roughly around 95% of the pre-pandemic level.
Okay.
So which was very successful, and we're very happy about that.
Yeah.
And we also expect a very good year in 2024. So we are hopefully looking at around 30 million passengers and a lot of new routes and great developments.
Fantastic. So there have been numerous routes, like you just mentioned, announced from Vienna Airport. China Eastern Airlines will be launching flights to Shanghai, and Hainan Airlines have started direct service to Shenzhen. What do stories like this demonstrate of Vienna Airport's route development strategy?
So as you can see, the Chinese market is opening up, and China for us is a very important market and a high potential market.
Yeah.
We already have direct service with Air China, and they're increasing to a daily service. Austrian Airlines is already serving Shanghai, and we are very happy that we're getting Hainan Airlines back on Shenzhen on the 29th of May, and also adding China Eastern as a new airline on Shanghai as well.
Yeah.
So our focus is, of course, on long-haul services, and that's why we have been working on that for a very long time.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we try to add new routes to our network, but also focus on additional frequencies and strengthen our hub function.
Right, okay. So what went into making these new routes successful, would you say? Was it discussion? Was it meeting people from these airlines? Was it flying over to China themselves? What made it so successful?
So I think it's a little bit of all of that, because if we look at new routes and new potential, of course it's quite data driven. We look at past demand, we look at trends, we look at booking data, and we offer airlines new opportunities because they want to add new destinations that are profitable and make sense in their network. And of course we also have a close contact to our customers, and we go to headquarter visits, we attend conferences, and it's still a people's business, and we're very happy to have face-to-face meetings again after the pandemic. So we really try to see the bigger picture and also connect our partners to the stakeholders like tourism boards of Austria and Vienna, Chamber of Commerce, and whatever it needs to make a route successful.
Understood. So in the case with the China Eastern Airlines, this route was developed because it was Vienna's second biggest distant market pre-pandemic, I understand. So how do you identify new markets in launching new routes, like the example with China Eastern Airlines?
So as I mentioned, it's very data-driven analysis. We work with different tools, have a look at the past demand, have a look at booking data, have a look at developments in ticket sales, and of course we identify unserved and underserved routes, and then all that data sums up to a business case, but that has to fit also in the strategy of the airline and their aircraft availability. So the data is fine, but it has to match with the needs of the airline and the strategy of the airline as well.
So with all these new routes being launched and announced, what have you seen is the economic impact for these new routes for local communities and tourism agencies?
So what we've seen, city tourism in Austria is completely back to the levels of 2019, and also Austria as a country is back to 98% of the of the tourism figures of 2019, and all that brings, of course, an impact in terms of innovation, in terms of value, and of course jobs. If you have a look at, for example, the revenues Vienna has from accommodation establishment, that's more than 1.2 billion euros, and that's a lot. But that's just one figure. The whole package, of course, having tourism in a country like Austria and in the beautiful city of Vienna has an impact also on the job market.
Yeah, of course. So how do you work with governments and tourism offices to promote your destination to travelers?
So, for example, with Vienna Tourist Board, we have a very close cooperation, and we have an air service development program together. So we identify markets and work on those markets together. And we also have a very close cooperation with the Austrian Tourism Board. And in addition to that, we try to have a good cooperation also with the Chamber of Commerce, and for example also the ambassadors of Austria all over the world. Because if we are looking at routes, we're not only looking at Vienna as a destination and as an outbound destination, but we also look at the other end of the route, and there is for example, the ambassador that helps a lot, and we have contact with the Chamber of Commerce and try to figure out what are the beneficial markets to all of us. And so we support each other in the goal to get new routes.
Understood. I guess what sort of trends are you observing in passenger behaviour, wants, needs, and general air trends?
So what we see is there is still a high demand of travel. People want to travel, and mostly leisure traffic is developing very well. And we're not talking about revenge travel anymore, because that's done. People still want to travel. And what we've seen, the fares remain quite high. But people are not so price sensitive because they want to see the world. So that's what we see. Leisure traffic is developing very well. In terms of business traffic, of course, not everything came back. But what we can see is that those one-day trips might not be on the map anymore, but going to conferences and trade shows and things like that, people still do that because they see that it's very beneficial to have face-to-face meetings, and it is important. That's what we see in terms of trends, and the passengers, they really want to travel and see the world.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like across the globe there's been a cost of living crisis, so it's less money for the person, yet they're still willing to spend all these hundreds of pounds, as well as airfares increasing significantly. So I think it's a testament to how much people want to travel, want to see the world, want to connect with their friends and family.
Also, hotel rooms, the fares increased tremendously.
Are passengers also booking into hotel rooms as well? Have you noticed?
I think they still have a look around, but of course they still go, and they are willing to spend some money on that. And I think it is a need of human beings to travel, and we're living in a global society
that enables that. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Fantastic. So just as my final question to you, what would you say is the biggest challenge facing route developers at the moment, and what are the opportunities?
I would say the biggest challenge is aircraft capacity, and I think the airlines, they cannot expand their networks in the pace they would love to because of aircraft availabilities, and that's on the one hand engine problems, and on the other hand delayed deliveries of new aircraft, and I would say that's the biggest challenge at the moment.
Understood. And where do you think the opportunities are?
So I think it's we all try to stay in touch, and we're looking forward to some of the new aircraft being delivered, because I think some of them will open up new markets, like the XLR might be a game changer to new markets. But now we all have to wait for some deliveries coming out, and we're trying to work with what we have, and so the airlines do. and still keep interesting networks.
Yeah, it was wonderful chatting to you, Belina. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.